Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, July 13th. We are looking at Window Traders' market profile of SPY, IWM, and Triple Q. And after the market sold off pretty heavily with emotional trading pre-market, we basically spent the whole day we took the gap back early by C period, and then we spent the entire day in either the lower distribution or trying to fill the single prints from yesterday. We didn't do it. We almost did, but we did not. Russell gap lower, filled their gap in A period. Remember, they didn't have singles yesterday. They just took back their price probe from yesterday. We all end up with very nice P shapes for short covering, which is basically all we did spend the day doing today, from shorts from yesterday afternoon when we flushed and from pre-market. Triple Qs also gap lower, filled their gap in A period, took back their trend day from yesterday and they got into the upper distribution a bunch of times throughout the afternoon, but they closed below it. So it remains to be seen how we act on the PPI on tomorrow. You wouldn't think that's going to be any good either, right? The shocking thing is, it just makes you laugh how they dump this and then they spend all day just taking it back and basically trading where we did lately yesterday afternoon. We never filled the singles, never got above the price spike, never got to that POC from yesterday. I had to leave early today, but prior to that, I had a pretty good day trading. A period, I took one short when we were going up against the gap, which worked out 379 puts. But after that, all I did was I took longs basically. I was long in B period when it first flushed really hard as soon as B period opened, 375 calls, which worked. C period, I took longs, the 379 calls when it looked like they wanted to pop A and B's top. It actually pulled back nicely, got involved on the 379s, and that worked out nice. Now, I did miss two shorts. I missed one in D when it ran up. I had just ran out of the room for a minute, came back. That would have been a nice short the first time against the upper end of the lower distribution right before the single print start because it came right in. So I missed that one. And then I also missed one in E. I did not think this trend day was going to hold. There was no reason I should have been in a short when we broke D's low to just go fill the single prints. And that's all they wanted to do, but I should have been in there to fill that. And then after that, I actually took a long in H period when we popped and ran stops. Took a nice 50 call play of the three. I forgot what price. I didn't write it down. I think it was the 380s actually, but no, it was. I'm not sure what it was. It might have been the 382s actually, because I thought we might go fill the single prints, which we never did, but it was still a good trade. And then I had to leave early, so that was the last trade of the day. Again, did anything change in the bigger picture? Not really. Sellers are still in control, right? The daily is down. The monthly's down, the weekly's in balance. It's still an inside week, 3 days into the week. That goes for all three of us, basically. If you're a seller, you got to be encouraged. We only spent the whole day below yesterday's range and in the lower distribution. We never got into the upper distribution. If you're a buyer, you got to be encouraged because we had a decent-sized gap that we filled, right? As far as destinations on the upside, we have 9 wide at 380.17 up at H's low, 381.92 daily high, and then you should have everything I gave you from yesterday on those upside. For the downside, J's low is an afternoon pullback at 378.55. We have today's low of 374.66, then last week's low of 372.90, another weekly low of 372.56, and then 370.18 weekly low and filling the gap at 369.38, 80-point gap from June 21st. And then on the chart, and by the way, we gave all the scenarios this morning, what could happen. And the one that basically did happen is they filled the gap and they attempted to come back in. But I said nothing changes unless we get into the upper distribution, which we never did. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then on the chart, so here's the weekly. Now they're showing today's overnight low. That's why it's showing lower than the weekly low. But we did not take out last week's low yet. So we're basically in balance on the weekly. Okay? We're still one time framing up, right? 2 weeks, and then last week was an inside week. It doesn't stop it, but it's pretty much balanced for now. And then on the daily, we're clearly down. Okay, came out of balance yesterday to the downside, continued down. We battled the 20-day moving average all day. For now, we closed below it by about $1, a little over $1. Now, one day doesn't make a market. We'll see what happens tomorrow with the PPI. These lows here are the important ones, right? This is one weekly low at 372.90. That's the other weekly low at 372.56. So if we continue the downward trend, very important, this double bottom. Do we hold it? If we hold it, not bad. If we don't hold it, good chance we will go test maybe the yearly low. Thanks for the likes and subscribing to this channel. I hope you had a good day trading. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.